Hey guys, in this video, we'll be taking a look at the APFG MPX, which is a replica of the SIG MPX. Did APFG do it right? Let's find out. A stock replica weighs 4 pounds and 5 ounces, or 1.96 kilograms. The upper is made out of 6061 extruded CNC aluminum, while the lower is die-cast aluminum alloy. This is the Real Steel Midwest Industries 9-inch handguard. It looks and feels great, with M-LOK sections everywhere. This replica has 1913 rails on the back for any compatible stock. Since I have 3 different types of stock, I'll quickly talk about each of them. The VFC MCX stock is very convenient since it has both length adjustments and being able to fold. This would be my favorite stock, but the VFC telescoping MPX stock is solid, although it's a little short. There's barely any wobble. The Task Force Cape Moss stock is slick, although it feels slightly long for me. It can fold out of the way, and there's barely any wobble. There is a QD sling attachment point on the lower receiver. All the controls are replicated well, with the exception of the right side bolt release. It protrudes out way too much. The paint finish looks great. It's obvious that the CNC'd upper has a better finish than the lower, so I'll scratch both surfaces to see how durable they are. As you can see, the upper's finish is very strong. Let's try the lower now. And as typical with the finishes on cast aluminum alloy parts, it is very weak, requiring barely any force for me to expose bare metal. These engravings are done by Octagon. Originally, the replica had a 4.5 outer barrel and an A2 flash hider. There are 14mm negative threadings underneath for any muzzle devices. There is a very noticeable wobble between the upper and lower, which can be fixed with an AccuWedge. Let's check out the internals. To disassemble for repairs and maintenance, remove these 2 receiver pins. Next, remove the buffer, followed by the bolt and charging handle. Internally, the fire control group appears to be based on the VFC V2 AR system, with every part being made out of steel. This replica was bought used, so there's no telling how much use it has seen, but after over 3K rounds with me, everything looks to be wearing in quite well. The bolt carrier is made out of a metal alloy. Mine did come with an end pass, although I've heard that APFG has stopped putting them in. The hop-up can be adjusted at the front with a hex key. Note that if you have a longer handguard, you'll need a longer hex key. To access the hop-up, remove the handguard. Pro tip, if you can't get your handguard off, attach a grip, which gives you a surface to pound it out. Then you can remove these hex screws and the pin in the middle. The hop-up unit may now be slid out. Simply remove 2 more Phillip head screws to open it up. The inner barrel is 100mm long This replica can take standard GBB spec buckings and inner barrels. One common issue with this platform is the very fragile muzzle threadings. One side of the hop unit will most likely shear off. I've had this happen on 2 of my MPXs. The JWI aluminum hop unit is a good fix and upgrade. Another slight issue with this replica is that it will overhop any BB that weighs less than 0.3 stock. You can fix this by fouling the hop arm. Another small issue that I've encountered is the screw loosening. It seems that the threads have worn out, so it couldn't be threaded back in. I just gave it a dab of super glue and called it a day. Superlube PTFE should be used for smoother operation and to lessen wear. This replica only uses APFG MPX Magazines, which holds 30 BBs and weighs 310 grams empty. These can be loaded with any speed loader without the need of an adapter. There is no dry firing switch. I found these magazines to be very reliable, although a bit hard to load when brand new, so some breaking in is needed. The magazine releases in the same position as an AR. It's also ambi. The charging handle is ambi. Pulling it back feels pretty smooth. The bolt release is the same as an AR. It's also ambi. The ambi release is nice, as you can release it with your index finger for a quicker reload. My selector has been upgraded with a real steel selector D10 spring, so it's going to be a bit tighter than a stock selector. The trigger is very nice. There's no travel at all, with a very distinct wall. There's also no over travel. The dust cover works as intended. At 70 Fahrenheit, the replica was able to shoot 276 shots before failing to lock back. I did let the magazine return to room temperature after every 30 rounds. Due to the insane gas efficiency, the MPX works extremely well in cold temps as well. The recoil is decent, although the reciprocating mass is small compared to AR platforms. The impulse is very snappy. Here are some comparisons for reference. Using .32s at 100 feet out, the replica shoots a very consistent and tight grouping. There are still plenty more hop adjustments for heavier BBs. A stock MPX with no end pass should give you 320 to 350 FPS. depending on temperature and BB weight. Despite the recoil, this replica is very loud. Let's start with the pros. It's a replica of the SIG MPX. The externals looks and feel great. Internal parts are mostly steel. Extremely good gas efficiency. Very fun to use. Super light magazines. Lots of aftermarket support. And it takes real steel parts. Now the cons. The lower receiver's finish is weak. It tends to overhop out of the box. The barrel threadings are fragile. The screw on the bolt carrier has fallen out. The receiver's wobble can be very noticeable. The red side bolt release protrudes out a little too much. There is no markings out of the box, and it does not retail in the US. So what's the verdict on the APFG MPX? When it comes to externals, it looks great and it's pretty much 1-to-1 to the real steel. The CNC upper receiver's finish looks very good, while also being super durable. In contrast, the paint on the lower doesn't hold up well at all, and the wobble between the receivers is something you want to fix with an accurate wedge if it bothers you. The red side bolt release also sticks out more than it should, which is a minor inconvenience. Moving on to internals, this replica has mostly steel fire control group and a solid design inspired by the VFC AR system. It has held up well through thousands of rounds with minimal wear. However, there are some common issues like fragile muzzle threadings, overhopping, and screws loosening, which are all fixable but still annoying. Where this replica really shines is the performance. Gas efficiency is incredible. It continues to perform well even in colder temperatures. Accuracy may need tuning out of the box, but it has a lot of potential, while the snappy recoil combined with the great trigger makes this replica extremely fun to use. Not to mention the super light magazines. All in all, the APFG MPX is one of the most practical and cool replicas out right now. So if you're in the market for a MPX, this is the best and only option. If you found this review to be helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below to support what I'm doing here. See you in the next video.